It's Saturday night, and obviously, you know what time it is. It is night one of WrestleMania. If you can't tell by the graphic behind me and by us coming nice and deep once again, your WrestleManiacs with three of the most important men in podcasting today, and James. Uh, I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on it early, James. I'm gonna work on it early. You
Yeah,
know,
you might. I don't think you don't think you're gonna get it tonight, but like, you got it last night, so I don't think you're gonna get it tonight.
hey man, if I could do it too, Pete, I'll be the man of the hour for sure. But
Yeah.
we just got off the heels of an elongated WrestleMania night one, where we just got finished. No spoiler needed. Having Bianca Belair become the new SmackDown Women's Champion, beating Sasha Banks with what I would like to call the whip slap heard around the world. Or I don't even know. Would you consider that a whip since it's hair? I mean,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
braided.
yeah,
It's
that's
braided just like a whip. So yeah.
And I don't care. It could be. You can call it what you want to call it. I'm gonna call it the whelp slap.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Cause her rib cage had a nice little red mark on it, bro.
Yeah, it did.
that's true. We'll talk about that in a minute. But first, I'd like to introduce the roundtable. You know, it's myself, as always, the People's Choice, Don Rodriguez. We have the Nubian Sumo James, and joining us, two special guests on this night one festivities of WrestleMania. We got the man returning from last night, Mr. Raj. Tell us what you're smoking. Tell us what you are having to drink tonight. James, we're gonna come back to you. I know you want to sell and
Oh,
not.
no doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
No problem. Tonight I'm powered by Clyde Mays, Alabama style, bourbon or whiskey, whatever you want to call it. And I'm smoking on my double Maduro nub. Very,
Thank you,
very
sir.
good smoke.
Very good.
Looks and sounds good. And returning back to the WrestleManiacs triumphantly is one of the members, the illustrious members of the Straight to Tape podcast. Mr. Perry, how you feeling?
What's good? It's your man C. Perry Elysia the second from Straight to Tape. Yeah, I'm sponsored by Larceny this evening. And I have my Maduro 3000 that I'll be lighting up during the post show.
Sounds good. And then, Mr. Perry, if you could go ahead, turn your camera on and back off. I got you as frozen while the Nubian Sumo tells us exactly what he is smoking and drinking this evening on the eve of a new women's SmackDown champion.
Well, in celebration of Miss Bianca Belair, I pulled out something very limited. It's a limited edition old tub, unfiltered. Only 10,000 bottles made. I was kind of hanging on to this, but being that we're in a special night tonight, I figure I'll go ahead and crack it on open. And I've dug into the crates a little bit in the humidor. And in celebration of our boy DP, this is his first WrestleMania in heaven, I pulled out the La Coalición, which is the coalition, which is our crew name, me and Raj and a few others. So in honor of him, I pulled this out tonight. And then Perry, I'm gonna go into a little gimmick infringement on you, man. And I got my t-shirt for you tonight. So hold on a minute.
Shirt time. I can't read what it says though, James. What does it say?
Sex and violence. This is the old Edge t-shirt from back in the day.
Ah,
Throwback.
Okay.
extra throwback.
Yeah.
All right, Perry will be joining us back in a second. But while I see Raj is representing the Washington Nationals. That's cool with us. And I am representing next year's WrestleMania host, I would imagine, as he ushered in the fifth wheel.
Yep.
So Dallas gets to have a win next year, if nothing else, at WrestleMania. We'll see how the rest of the football season goes out there. But I can only imagine
that part
is going to be pumped into everything when it comes down to that brand new stadium and how they're gonna make that state of the art for WrestleMania to spend all that lovely money. So I'm gonna see if we can get Mr. Perry back in here because. Send him another one, see if we can get him to slot in. So I know we had history being made at the end of the night, but are you guys aware that, in my opinion, history was also made at the beginning of the night with the new WWE reset, which traditionally happens at WrestleMania or the Monday after, of the Then, Now, and Forever sizzle reel. When you're watching that WWE logo, there was more African Americans in and throughout that video sizzle reel than I have ever seen, and this is excluding The Rock. Throughout, and as well as past and present superstars. So we started with that. So that set up everything, and then to have Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks make history as the first African American females to main event WrestleMania, that told you how the night was going to go. Yes, sir.
Side note, JBL's a bitch.
Okay, go ahead and explain.
If you saw the pre-show, which I don't know if anybody said is watching this podcast, JBL tried to downplay it and saying, "Oh, they're just two great athletes. It's not necessary that they two African American women, that's headlining WrestleMania Night 1." Kind of sort of like, Black Lives Matter, and they say all lives matter. I'm not gonna go in no political spill. I'm just saying JBL should have kept his trap shut.
Yeah. And this coming from the guy who's always talking about Ron Simmons being the first black heavyweight champion.
Exactly.
So yeah,
we all know how that goes. So we're not going to jump too deep into politics or something like that.
Yeah, I just want to get that.
They can be close to the chocolate, but still be extra vanilla. Let's just put it that way.
True.
To put it succinctly. So James, if you want to text Perry and see. It's coming up as him having some technical difficulties, so we'll see if we can get him back very soon. So let me know when to try to send.
Okay, he just texted me saying he's trying to get back in.
Okay, so it came up as unavailable. So keep me posted, and we'll slide him back in because I know he has some poignant remarks for the main event. But we opened up with the only way I think we should have: Vincent Kennedy McMahon ushering in a new era, basically, what we can call it, of WrestleMania going forward. Coming off of the heels of what we all have experienced and we're done with, no fans and dealing with the pandemic and all these other things. And truthfully, watching AEW be successful in their presentation, in my opinion, because they had natural audio. Even if it's just the superstars, natural audio. We saw the benefit of natural audio doing Takeover Stand and Deliver both nights. It just sounded better, it flowed better, felt better. It was more organic and visceral and reactionary opposed to the pipe in that sometimes to me was insulting because I don't want you to tell me who to like or what spots to do or if this is awesome. I want to chant it on my own. So Vince opening, I thought that was perfect. All the superstars that could come out and be out, because if you notice, Bray Wyatt wasn't out. The Fiend wasn't out for obvious reasons because you got to protect the character in some instances. But a lot of the other superstars were out. And then we had BB Rexa give us America the Beautiful. So if you guys have any comments or any feeling about just the way WrestleMania started pre-delay?
I had no issue with it. I didn't know who BB Rexa was, but okay. I'll just leave that alone. I don't want no Me Too movements in here. So yes, it was great. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, go find El Boogie and ask her who it is. I'm sure she can tell.
I'm sure she knows. Yeah,
that's his daughter, by the way.
Hopefully, it was a conscious conversation with somebody to have that Cyndi Lauper-esque hairstyle. Maybe that was just me that I felt like it was a good throwback to the beginnings of WrestleMania period. So I was like, oh, she kind of got that Cyndi Lauper feel going on. So I was cool with that. But the rain delay, in my opinion, I know it caused us to go to a longer overrun, but I'm already always conditioned from what it used to be to have WrestleMania end when it was just one night only at midnight or pretty much darn near. But the rain delay, in my opinion, actually worked in the WWE's favor because it gave some superstars the opportunity to shine, to cut promos off the cuff, not scripted. And
Right.
there was a couple of them that actually I thought made the pay per view more than what would have happened or the promotional reel that was played. In my opinion, the New Day and Big E
Yes.
done
Yep.
what it needed to do. Drew McIntyre and that altercation with Bobby Lashley when they all crashed in on Shane McMahon. That was interesting. Tell me what you guys thought about that rain delay and how they pieced that together. I thought that was done reactionarily, if that's a word, really smart.
Oh yeah, it was good. I mean, like you said, it was good for the show. I mean, to actually see somebody actually go off the cuff and do cut a promo without having to remember a script or whatnot at the last minute. It was good. That was good that happened.
Yeah.
And you saw
But the one thing that came to mind though, the whole time I was thinking, with all the sound issues in the beginning and everybody slipping around and whatnot, I was like, blame it on the rain.
Cool. Can you see me now?
We got
you.
Mr. Lee's back.
Cameras off.
Hold on.
Yeah, he's just getting back in. Let him get straightened out. Yeah,
hey,
he coming.
There you go. We got
as far as that the interviews, I thought that the Drew McIntyre interview, you could see the emotion in him. He was trying to hold it back. He got caught up in the moment. I thought that was good that they did that. So
Yeah, I agree. So I guess it's apropos to you jumping back in, Perry, because we're also working through a delay of you coming back on. So we were talking about the rain delay that we had and how the WWE kind of recovered really well, and that was some great off the cuff promos that were cut, just what they were piecing together, and it actually, in my opinion, on some of the matches enhanced them. So what was your thoughts on that?
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that's what happens when you do a show outside, period. Okay. So, I caught some of the promos. I'll be honest with you, I was kind of in and out of them because I was just waiting for, the show to start. You know what I mean? So, I mean, to me, it is what it is. I mean, I caught a little bit of that Kevin Owens promo, but I mean, that was, that was pretty much it. I was just waiting for the show to start.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm quite sure everybody was, but it's almost like one more little jab from 2020 into the recovery that we're having in 2021. Plus, it's also Florida, so why the heck not? That's just what happens. Par for the course. So here's the night. We started with Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. You guys tell me did they set the pace? Did they make it happen? Did they give us everything that we needed to have? And did Bobby Lashley walk away more enhanced as a heel? And did Drew McIntyre lose anything from doing the honors at Mania?
Go ahead, Perry.
Okay. So, look, I was glad to see the main event of the 2016 TNA Slammiversary replayed again at the start of this show. And this was another, it is what it is, because I'm already used to seeing Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley put on good matches when they're in the ring with each other. Okay. I mean, to some of the WWE only fans, nah, this ain't their first time in the rodeo. And it's not their first time in the rodeo, in a main spot. Okay. So what I saw was what I expected because I've seen it before and I've
Right.
seen them deliver together. It just took the WWE 4 damn years after they did it before to finally figure out that they had, that there was something with Drew McIntyre and there was something with Bobby Lashley. They had to leave the E to develop it so that they could come back to deliver it. So,
All right. Well, you know what? Stay on that thought because I'm gonna add a little bit of extra prodding in there. So, since you're talking about them leaving the E and coming back, and the E discovering, okay, this is a great idea. Do you think the okay, great idea or the aha moment is coming because of the pressure that they're starting to develop or recognize from AEW, saying we've got to start letting some of this talent that we've got that have proven themselves in other places actually do something before another major talent goes over there, does what they were doing before the E, and become extremely successful, a la John Moxley.
not until Vince kisses the casket. I'm just real. I'm just
Yeah,
being
keep it real. Yeah.
yeah. Not,
Yeah.
not until Vince kisses the casket. I mean, because you're still gonna see that over and over and over again. Okay, I mean, they saw, they saw what Derek Bateman did when he was EC3, and they brought him back on the strength of that, and then still couldn't figure out how to freaking use him.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, and once and even just sorry tangent. Once he finishes the indie scene and finish what he's about to do in Ring of Honor, they're gonna be sniffing his butt again because that's just what they do. And it's gonna. I'm sorry, it's going to be this vicious cycle until
But I think
Vince.
Tony Khan may scoop him up.
We'll see. We'll see.
Because I think he's a great talent. Him versus Brian Cage would be a hell of a match.
He's an incredible talent. What he did what he just did at the anniversary show with Jay
Jay
Briscoe
Briscoe.
was an
Yeah.
incredible match. Okay, but look, we talking WrestleMania. Okay, but I just don't see the pushing and the prodding. All right, I want to because I want to see both products better. All right, but I don't see it yet. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. This was the worst build up to a WrestleMania that I had ever seen.
Yeah.
The worst. All right, but you get to the night, and then you get to the night, and you see what delivers. All right, and I'll say this. I mean, as much as I say the Bobby Lashley, the Bobby Lashley match tonight with Drew McIntyre, to me it is what it is. But what they still did was deliver.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They delivered. Yeah, they delivered. They delivered incredibly. Okay, incredibly. And it was the correct ending. It was the correct ending.
I agree. I agree, and it made Bobby look good because that rollover to still maintain the hurt lock.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that the average person wouldn't have expected out of Bobby Lashley, and that's a story that they told, and we knew once it got put on, it was a wrap. And then, also the interference of an MVP.
The perfect distraction, and not think about it. Okay, a verbal distraction outside of a physical distraction. That's smart. That's smart booking.
And they set that up on Raw, the Raw before that. So yeah.
Yeah.
And they had to drop the dead weight to make that happen, make it sellable. That puts, I know it's going to sound like a weird correlation, but that puts Bobby Lashley in the same line as Brock Lesnar with a Paul Heyman. Just a person outside to do their job in the right way is going to make a difference, opposed to 3 people outside, and then you got all these extra distractions. So, like I said, the right booking makes sense.
The only reason why I partially disagree with that is because I'm totally against them breaking up the Hurt Business. Totally against that. Okay, totally against that.
You
Yeah,
should have been in that discussion last night, Rob. What you think?
Cedric Alexander and what's the other dude he was running with?
Shelton Benjamin.
Shelton Benjamin. They got put out of the Andre the Giant Royal last night, like within 5 seconds. So it's like they not even they just it's almost like they discarded them at this point. But we're not going to talk about that.
Well, that's
good.
Well,
Shelton.
Look, that's terrible booking. I mean, keep it real. Once again, going back to the past here. I mean, the hurt business was rip off of the
Beat Down Clan
in TNA.
And Don Perry is a TNA Impact expert.
Yeah,
just like you and Mark for WWE. That's him with Impact and TNA.
I'm a part for TNA too. I go all the way back to the Asylum.
Yeah, but they once again they ripped that off. They ripped that off, or they ripped off the main pieces of it, which was MVP and Bobby Lashley.
Right. And they included Sheldon Benjamin because of his run with MVP in Japan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They were a major tag team in Japan.
Sheldon can always perform. I said a million times. I even met the man, so we had a conversation about it. It's just the mic skills is the only thing that prevents him from breaking through that plastic ceiling. That's it. Everything else is perfect pedigree. But
and Cedric was the Kenny King, the worker.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Not just a worker, but a worker.
But the match was what I thought it was going to be. It was a good ending. I have nothing else to say. It set the tone for the rest of the night.
You're right, because kind of got that pick right. Just saying.
Actually, we all did.
We all got that pick right.
Well, no. KG picked Drew.
Did he pick Drew? Okay.
KG picked Drew.
I'm going somewhere with this because I'm not sure about you two, but one of the three of us ran the board tonight. Just saying. Just wanted to put that out there. just wanted to put that out there. KG, unfortunately,
I only got one loss, so yeah.
To put that dub down.
But, and I'm already in the hole for tomorrow night.
He in the hole for tomorrow because he didn't pick Tamina and Natalia, so I did. So
yeah. So, we let that be what it's going to be. But speaking of which, good segue. That tag team turmoil match ended up. It was what it was.
Yeah.
The best look all across the board. There was still, I would say, it was more so nerves than anything because there was some missed spots and
that was a hot mess.
The slip 2.0 and just other things. Lana looked like her lipstick had smudged. She almost looked like the Joker a little bit, which I think is why they didn't do a close up on her. Dana Brooke, I think, had almost wardrobe malfunction in the areola category. So it was a lot going on.
And what's the name? What's her partner's name?
Mandy Rose.
Mandy Rose, yeah, she fell down, go boom on the way out.
So
there
was a lot of nerves in that match.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And Tamina and Natty did it. It was cool for Natty, though, to actually, she didn't really whisper it, but to tell Tamina to enjoy the moment and take her time before she did that splash. So I thought that was a good moment for, Tamina to have her WrestleMania opportunity. So that was
what about throwing in Billie Kay and Carmella? I mean, what?
Yeah, I don't understand what the purpose that was too. I guess maybe it was just, hey, let's just get him a check. Or Corey Graves could have been in somebody's ear and said, hey, my boo is not on the card. Can y'all work that out? Who knows?
Okay, maybe it's just me, but tomorrow night's match between Baszler and Jax versus Tamina and
Natalia.
Yeah, and Natalia. It would have been great if they would have set this up 3 to 4 weeks ago and build it, okay? Because there are so many natural stories that can be told with these two wrestling with these two teams wrestling each other. Okay, I mean you have you have dominant tag team champions, all right, in Jax and in Baszler. Okay, you have the cousin aspect between Naya and Tamina. All right, you have the second generation wrestler aspect. Well, actually, with Natalia, third generation wrestler aspect. You have two wrestlers that are from wrestling families.
Oh yeah.
Versus a dominant dominant champions, with one of those dominant champions being from a wrestling family. Okay, there were so many stories that could have been told to actually build this to a good match. All right, instead of just putting it in a throwaway, eliminator.
I agree, but I mean, some of that stuff, unfortunately, I think we have to just chalk up to COVID and the life, because
I'm sorry. I chalk it up to poor booking. Okay. And I'm sorry. I've been on the WWE's back about this for 15 years. Bad booking. Okay. And this was a throwaway when you had an opportunity to build something that could have been halfway special.
I'm with you, but I mean, that was the only good video package that was out tonight was the Bianca and Sasha.
Yeah.
But typically every video package is basically like a Hollywood movie, and with the exception of last year, past WrestleManias. So I mean, I just gave them a pass on that, and we'll just let it be. Or they could be saving that for tomorrow night, so we don't know. So tonight could have been the throwaway just to segue into. Who knows? We'll have to see. We may have to put a pin in that one, and then we'll deliver on.
What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, I'll wait.
That's what I said. We'll see. They may surprise you.
I'll wait to see if they're gonna surprise me. But I seriously,
there may be a little ticker at the bottom that says, "See, we told you, Perry."
If I don't see that ticker, I was waiting for what I'm expecting to see.
Yeah, we'll be hearing about it tomorrow night for sure. So then, I think, truthfully, performance-wise, overall match of the night, for me, the number one candidate is going to be Cesaro versus Seth Rollins.
Oh, incredible!
Yes,
incredible.
Yes. Good match, a great match.
Well deserving.
And to piggyback off of Perry,
go ahead, James. Go ahead.
Claudio Castronelli versus Tyler Black in Ring of Honor, and they finally brought back the UFO.
How many months ago was that, James? It was about 3 or 4 months ago. You were talking about Cesaro and how we need to bring back the UFO. So
it was a while ago. Yeah, but when Cesaro first came, that used to be his finisher back in Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
And when he came into Ring of Honor, they told him not to use the UFO. They told him he could not use it. So that's why he started the swing, which was part of his move set in Ring of Honor as well.
Right.
But perfect.
Yeah.
I understand now. They build up the swing. Seth Rollins gets out of it 3, 4, 5 times. He's got to come up with something else. Got it in his back pocket. The UFO. And it was. And did I not call it? Right before he did it, I called it, didn't I?
Yep.
I sent a text message to Don and KZ. I was like, the UFO is coming. The UFO is coming. Yep. And as soon as I hit the send button, there it was.
So yeah, I mean, great match, hand over fist. Great placement of that match as well.
I'm so happy that Cesaro finally getting some shine. Okay.
Right. Yes, as a singles competitor. Yes.
For as long as he's been with the company, okay, for how great he was prior to getting there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
prior to getting there, once again, this goes back to how this company has misused good wrestlers. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And Claudio has been one of them for for the longest time. Oh, hold on, Jay Burke. Okay, Jay Burke, get me with this one, okay? Because when I say it, you're gonna feel what I'm saying, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this is something we're probably gonna be bringing. I'm probably be revisiting later, later in the card, okay? If the E actually gave a damn about tag team wrestling, you had one of the greatest tag teams of the past 15 years under your banner, and you never used them or put them together.
Would that happen to be the Kings of Wrestling?
Bingo.
Claudio Castronelli and Chris Hero, who they know in WWE as Cassius Ono.
Yeah.
They put them together one time.
Mm-hmm.
They put them together one time in a house show, and it was pretty much a run in. And the whole crowd started as soon as they did the run in, they finished it up, and they were in the ring together, looking at each other, and the whole crowd, KOW.
Yep.
OW. So yeah, that would have been that. I was waiting for that to happen, but
yeah,
of course, they never did. So,
but I'm still glad. He got his shine, okay? Because he is such a good worker, okay? Yep. Credible worker, all right? Who maybe needed a mouthpiece,
Well, he had Paul Heyman, and they squandered that. So
yeah.
But they always squander people that Vince doesn't realize is going to be like a $1 billion talent. So if you're a Paul Heyman guy and you can't make me $1 billion, yeah, we're going to have to let you go to the wayside right now.
I got a question. Okay, about this match, or better yet, post match. What's really left for Seth Rollins? Honestly, let's think about that. Okay.
Seth is in his give back time. That's in my opinion, that's his role right now. It's the give back. It's give opportunities like he did tonight with Cesaro to help build talent, because there's no echelon for him to go yet that would make sense. If they push it on him, people hate it.
Yeah, and I get you with that, okay? Because that's exactly the same thing I was thinking. He's in the Jericho spot.
Yep.
He's in the Jericho spot, the gatekeeper spot. I'm gonna help build. I'm in a position to build talent spot.
Right.
Okay. Granted. Big part of me when it comes to Seth. All right, when it comes to Seth, is hoping and praying. And Jay, you might know where I'm about to go with this. Hoping and praying, he goes the Jonathan Good route and get to his best life outside.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, I can see him ending his contract and going somewhere else.
Yeah, but the problem is he's still got an anchor stuck in, because we still got to deal with Becky.
Not really. You got a whole bunch of wrestling couples right now that are AEW, WWE. So
yeah,
I mean,
he doesn't need to stay behind because of Becky.
Quality of life.
I mean, look.
Lana and Miro.
Andrade live his good life.
It's a family affair. I think between the two of them, they can make it happen. And the WWE will find a lane for him that won't end up with him being a brand ambassador, but it may end up being something else. So he's kind of in that holding pattern. He can do what he needs to do. He's gonna, put people over, like Rey Mysterio. He's gonna put people over, do what he needs to do. And then when the stars line up, because remember, Randy Orton was in a holding pattern. Some of it because he's Randy Orton and a little crazy doing some things. But the other part is we just need that lane. And then, as we all know, once that fire is lit and Randy can sink those, pun intended, viper-like teeth into the situation, sky's the limit. and you're like, what the heck just happened? Where was this Randy the entire time?
The only reason why I feel a little bit different about that, especially with the Randy Orton comparison, is because Randy's a lifer. Randy don't know nothing outside of WWE. Okay, Kobe Lopez does.
Yeah,
Just
and I agree.
like
But I don't think anybody could use Randy Orton and the Randy Ortonness of himself somewhere else. I think it would be the reverse of what we're talking about for people that have come over. It's like, well, what do we do with this guy? Because we can't use the RKO. We can't have him say that, even though it's his initials, but everything he does is going to be WWE stuff.
Yeah.
So what do you go with him? So it's like I understand what you're saying, but yeah, it's like polar opposites. But we'll see what happens with Seth.
not everybody's Kurt Angle.
Yeah, true.
That's
Not
true.
everybody. Not everybody's Kurt Angle. You know, since the best parts of Kurt Angle's career were not with the WWE, but that's another story for another podcast.
No, I agree. And that's the tragedy and blessing on both sides of the coin because WWE said no, we don't want you to do that stuff because we don't want that on our head because all they doing is Owen Hart flashbacks. And he said, well, I'm just going to take and go over there and become a Dagwood Hall of Famer before I become a Hall of Famer with you. So, hey, I'm with it. But then I guess this is kind of a good segue to the fourth match of the night. Do you guys think, Raja, I'll open up with you. Do you think the New Day is also in the holding pattern? Because AJ Styles and Omos are the new champions. So Kofi and Xavier Woods, are they as well just helping people out? Or what's going on?
I got a problem with the booking of that match. I get it because I know Omos is a big dude and Kofi how you win at WrestleMania a few years ago, headline WrestleMania, and you come 3 years later and all you get is choke slam and the dude steps on you and you get pinned. That was some bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Put some respect on his name. Omos didn't even hit the mat, dude. He just stood around in the center of the damn ring. All the other giants is wrestling in the WWE or any other organization take bumps or at least they go down or something. That Bama did nothing. So I don't know if he can't wrestle. They haven't taught him something yet. I get it. You gave them the belts, but again, why?
Raj, Andre the Giant, Great Khali, who was it? Giant Gonzalez. These guys went probably a year, 2 years before they even took their first bump.
Wait a minute. Don't forget about the Yeti.
Okay.
Don't forget about the
And
Yeti.
the Yeti.
Okay, I get it. But did they all in their first match in the wrestling ring? Did they get belts?
Well,
No.
that's a different era.
We talking a whole different era too, like you said.
Heaven forbid he walks out champion. I will riot for real.
Pass me with the BS. Whatever. I still didn't like the booking of it.
You lost to a former center at Morgan State University.
Hey.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that. My wife works for Morgan.
No. This ain't no diss. This ain't no diss.
That's a shout out to B-Ball right there.
Yeah, but it's not a diss. It's not a diss at all. But still, okay. 3 years ago, this man was a college senior at Morgan State University in the MEAC playing center. Okay.
Okay.
They grab him up. All right. He was doing NXT house shows, and not many NXT house shows.
Right.
Because he was still training. All right. But based off of that look, he gets grabbed for an on-air role for that travesty that was Raw Underground.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because he was actually initially supposed to be under Malcolm Bivens.
Yeah. Yep. They had a lot of people lined up for Bivens that he just couldn't figure out what to make work until recently. But that's a whole nother story. But I agree with you, Raj. I would say it was the booking. I would say it's the job of the road agent to make sure that the story that's being told makes sense.
Yeah.
And story they told with, okay, we want AJ, that's the game plan. AJ Styles did his job. The New
Right.
Day did their job up until that point. His job as a big man, and the travesty in this is the big man that they needed to teach him what to do, that has been there and gone through the fire and has been forged through understanding his role, is now in AEW, and that's the Big
That's
Show.
true. And that's the Big Show. That's true.
So the person that needed to teach him, the only thing Omos did right was stepped over the rope. He didn't land the chop.
Shout out to Shaq.
Yeah. I don't even know who allowed Shaq. And every time he stepped in, what are you doing? Come on.
But again, why did you take? See, but hold on. But why did you take the? You could have had the Hurt Business drop the damn belts at WrestleMania. Why did you let New Day take that spot? New Day, I don't think you. I'd rather them beat the Hurt Business instead of New Day.
New Day is better chasing than holding.
Yeah,
they are a better tag team chasing the belts than they are holding the belts.
I give you that.
You can. They're 11-time champions. I mean, how many more times can they have it? You know.
Yeah, 11 times.
And all this match was to build up Omos. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes back to disrespecting and not caring about tag team wrestling. Okay, because you have your one set of champions in the ring against a non-tag team, and you have your other set of champions not even on the show.
Not even on the show. Didn't even defend the belt. They showed up in the spot to do a fucking interview.
Yep.
But, yeah, they had them on SmackDown defending themselves in a 4-way.
Yeah, last night. Yeah.
In a 4-way.
In a 4.
That was just a phone-in episode, to be honest with you.
And
they just had to eat up airtime.
And jerking the best team there.
Yep.
Jerking the best team there.
But, like I said, it would be believed if Omos, if they would have told him what to do, then it would have just made sense. All he had to do was play the big man. The hot tag would have came from AJ. All he had to do, it looked like we were going to get it, was the big old chop, and then just wear him down, and a press slam or something, right. And then AJ comes in and just takes the tag, and then goes and does the phenomenal forearm. Omos could still be in the ring like, what are you doing? And then they could have played with that. Well, y'all aren't still an established tag team. I'm just making sure we're going to win. You do what I tell you to do because I pay you. And Omos is just like, fine, whatever. And now we're champions. Yeah. Something like that would have just.
I tag on the back. Omos still doing the AJ leaps over him, leaps on him, hits the phenomenal forearm, and gets the pinfall. Exactly. That would have been better than what we ended up getting.
Right. I actually like the match. I actually think they did the right thing with just focusing on Omos. Having him sit there outside the ring all that time. He gets the tag and he does his big man thing. I mean, he's supposed to be untouchable. He's supposed to be impenetrable or whatever, invincible. So I mean, he did what he was supposed to do. They focused. The match did what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to focus on Omos and put the onus on him.
Okay,
it's set up for Monday night for them to have a rematch.
So let me ask you this: Who are they going? Let's just looking down the road. Who's going to be their next opponent to try to take the strap off of them? Then
it don't matter because they're gonna have them belts for a while. As long something's gonna happen. Like y'all said, something's gonna happen where they're gonna end up breaking. AJ and Omos are gonna end up breaking up as a team, or somebody's gonna do something to AJ, and AJ ends up getting pinned and they lose the belts. There's no way in hell you're gonna have Omos taking a pin anytime within the next 2 years at least.
If the New Day doesn't win on a rematch, then just for James, there will be a tournament. And it will be one of those we just put people together situations where Braun Strowman is going to be thrown together with somebody else.
Not another tournament, please.
Right.
Yeah.
Not another tournament.
Here's the whole thing.
Braun Strowman, they're going to probably have to put Braun Strowman with somebody because he's the only one that probably can match him in the ring at this point.
Well, how old is that kid now that he won the belts with at that WrestleMania? How old is that kid now?
He's almost old enough to legally wrestle.
Right.
Can't drive yet. Shit.
If his parents still allowed, he's almost old enough. Who knows? I'm still mad about that. Like, really? That's in the lexicon of champions is some kid. That's just jealousy, though. That's just jealousy. Could have been me. So I'm glad we got a chance to get our moments together and talk about that, because right after that we had an match with Shane versus Braun in a steel cage, and that's pretty much, to me, that's all needs to be said. Just, Shane did his job, Braun did his job.
Braun did his job. Shane took his bump like he always does. Man, let's go.
Now, there was one thing different about this cage match from any other one, and that was the pulling away of the cage at the top. Nobody's done that before, so that made the match actually interesting. You know, other than everything else that happened, nobody's ever pulled one of those sheets off the top and used it. You know, so I mean, it was interesting.
Never been a sheet off the top.
Well, no, they've had those sheets up there for a while now. You know, for standing, for people to stand on to try to jump off the top of the cage.
It's a little lip that's built in. It's not a removable anything. It was a plant, obviously.
Right.
Shane bumps. Braun grunts. Next.
Yep.
What's the next match? Let's go.
Pretty much
next.
Next is actually the close second match of the night, and then I want to give definite praise to The Miz for showing why he is, and should have been on the list, one of the best workers out there. Shout out to Bad Bunny, who has been training for the last almost 6 months.
And it showed. I was shocked. I was shocked at the moves that Bad Bunny was doing tonight. I didn't think he was going to do that much.
Yeah.
And when he pulled that AJ Styles suplex on the side of the ring, I geeked.
Now, I will say this. I have said for a while that the best first match pay-per-view non-wrestling performance, in my opinion, has been D'Angelo Williams in Impact.
Right. We talking about
okay.
Now, I will say,
but D'Angelo Williams was an athlete, though.
Yeah, true. Now, the only thing that kept his match from being perfect was he overshot that table. That was it. But that wasn't really his fault, because they didn't pull the table out far enough for him. So that wasn't really his fault. But I may have to give the Bad Bunny that title now,
bruh.
I was expecting some things because he's been training.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was expecting some things because he was training, but I'd be damned if I was expecting a Canadian destroyer from that motherfucker.
Thank you.
That part.
Thank you,
bruh. And he took his bumps too. Yeah, so I was like, yo, I was shocked.
He took some nice bumps.
He took some nice bumps in that match, man.
And that's something that, truthfully, very few celebrities have had, is time put in the ring. Clock time actually wrestling, not just pop like a Floyd Mayweather, get a couple shots in, jump back out, and let the wrestler do the job. No, I mean, dude, if he was to come back,
and he started the match.
Yeah. If he could come back to become 24/7 champion, I'm with it.
Go find R-Truth and get the belt.
And this would be the one time that Truth isn't rolled up. It would actually be some type of a finish. So you're like, well, that's just Bad Bunny. He can do that.
Extremely impressed. I mean, there's no two ways about it. I mean, he looked convincing. Okay, he looked convincing. He looked like he wanted to be there. Okay, he sold. Okay,
he did.
That's a huge difference. And he showed a really good move set. All right,
And I mean, when I say he sold, I mean he might have had a couple of days with Ricky Morton.
Dude,
that type selling.
Whoever trained him in the Power Center down in Orlando did a good job with him, man.
Yep. And like I said, also kudos to the Miz because he was. You can hear it a couple of times, but definitely the general of that match. Morrison did his job on the side part, but the Miz was keeping a pace, calling that match, and making sure that everybody looked good. What they were supposed to do, even help Damian Priest get through his nerves, and then way he could do his stuff too.
Somebody in my ear over here said he didn't know Bad Bunny wasn't a wrestler.
Hey, it's me.
It's clear.
Here you go.
I'm watching it. I did not realize he was not a wrestler until Roger was like, "Oh no, he's like some Latin rapper or some shit."
Yeah. Hey, the man, he did it.
I was impressed. He did some stuff, and when he did AJ Styles move, I was like, "No." So we that's A.
Williams. Give P.
No, that's
Williams.
Petey Williams. Yeah, Petey Williams Petey Williams invented the Canadian Destroyer.
Oh, okay. Well, AJ Styles was the one I saw do it all the time.
Yeah, Petey was first.
You saw they hesitated on naming it. Somebody
it was Booker T of all people, the Bunny Destroyer.
The Bunny Destroyer, yeah.
Any other promotion? That's EW. They didn't call that so fast.
Right.
Everybody the Canadian Destroyer. So that's a whole other story. All right, so before we get to the main event, we did have an interesting surprise, for lack of a better term. And this is just taking a small little detour into the video game department, where we're still dealing with arguably the worst wrestling game of all time, being WWE 2K20 and that lovely piece of hot garbage. But we did get a nice little snippet and see that the cover athlete or the head superstar for WWE 2K22 is going to be Rey Mysterio. So that'll be interesting, talking about coming soon. It better come in 2K22 and not, or 2022 instead of coming out this year and it'll be some hot garbage again. But I just wanted to put that out there and recognize that they showed the game. I'm still more looking forward to AEW's presentation since they've the pedigree from Ukes, and we know that it's already going to be hot fire because they know what they're doing. So good luck, 2K. And then that's all we're going to say about that, because now it's time for the season, the main event. I don't even have to say names. We already know. We've already addressed it. So tell me what you feel. Actually, Perry, you go first because you said you wanted to come back to this match when we hit it at the proper time.
All right. The first time that I was on this esteemed podcast was for the Survivor Series, and we were doing predictions, and it was one thing that I said on that show was put a rocket on Bianca Belair's back. All right, I said that in November. Okay, and we saw it tonight. I thought it was a great performance by both. Yeah. All right. Once again, Sasha, damn Charlotte. Sasha's been the one. Okay. Has been the one. The pure ring general. Okay. The real reason, that the women's revolution is what it is. Okay. I mean, I'm sorry, Becky just had her Stone Cold moments. Okay. And that's the reason why she's where she is at. Okay. But the Shawn Michaels of the joint, that's Sasha, man. That's who's built that. Bianca, from the first moment that I saw her in NXT, I knew she had it. Granted, to me, there were still so many times they could have given her the belt over Shayna Baszler, which they should have. However, it worked out the way it worked out. And this match worked out the way it worked out. And this match was historic. Okay? JBL, fuck you. Fuck you. Okay, look, I hate to bring race into this, but ain't no white man gonna tell me what Black history is, bro. This is Black history. Fuck you. All right. You've never seen two Black women in a main event. Period. Okay, in a main event of a major show, and that's what you saw tonight.
And it put on a good show at that, Perry. Let me. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, I mean, even before this match, I agreed with Don. Cesaro and Seth match of the night, but when that match came on and that match ended, that was it. Well, that was match of the night for me.
That's the only smart booking they did the whole time, making that the main event tonight.
From us, we knew it was going to go down that way. We just need to see it play out. So I removed that one when I called Cesaro and Seth match of the night because that was I wasn't expect. I thought that was just going to be a fluff match. We're just going to pass by, maybe 8-10 minutes and over it. But I was thoroughly entertained from that match. Bianca, I was just waiting, and I just wanted to see the story that they was going to tell and how Sasha was going to ride the roller coaster with us of emotion to help Bianca get there. And
emotion is the word of this damn match.
Yes,
because from the time they started, the ring bell rung, and Bianca started crying.
Yes,
just from the reaction.
Yeah,
and then when she came off of the 450 and the false finish,
that moment you was talking about with the crying, that was her Rock Hogan moment.
Right.
Remember, they were just looking back and forth. If they would have did that would have been perfectly fine. But the way the crowd was starting to go, let's go Sasha EST. That chant was building, and rightfully so. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I just wanted to put out that comparison.
But no. I was just saying when you mentioned emotion, I mean that added to the match. Her actual genuine emotion, being in that match and being in that moment. To where instead of her being around, just hard and ready, she actually had a moment, in the ring.
Is she start using her hair as a weapon? That's what I want to know.
Well, she's been doing it before, but I thought they told her to stop because she was whipping people like for real.
Well, no. She's used her hair before in matches. She doesn't use it often. I mean, it's like for special moments, like if she can't do anything else, that's something that she pulls out.
Resort that. Okay.
Now with Sasha, where Sasha's concerned, this is the first time I've seen any opponent use the braid against her this much.
Well, but Shayna did a good job of it. She used it too.
Yeah, she did. She did too. But this is the most I've seen the braid used against her in any match.
What I liked about the storytelling, because I thought the buildup was going to be somehow into the KOD, and that was going to be the finish. But then as I saw the hair more and more, I started to think, are they going to let her do it? Are they going to let her do it? And then when you heard that crack, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the loudest one. I thought that was like piped in, but when I saw that whelp,
when she was on the side of the ring,
I was like, "Oh my God!" She called
her Sasha Banks for saying yes, I will do that.
She called her stiff. I was stiff. Oh my God! And then the way she was on the floor, and she kind of played it up and whatnot. Yeah. Raise your arm. So, I was like,
that's arena. I mean, I'm an open stadium, and you heard that sound.
Yeah, that's why I was like, That's why I was like, wow, it was that loud. I thought it was piped in.
I wasn't piping, bro.
That's when I wish JR was there, because that would have been you killed him. As God is my.
She slapped the hell out of him.
Oh my God!
She cut her in half.
That's one of those Jim Ross moments right there.
Yeah.
For sure. But overall, night one did everything I needed it to do. Because truthfully, in my opinion, I think that still night one is more stacked in reference to quality matches than night two. That's just me. I mean, just to recap what we have, you got KO and Sami Zayn Big E versus Apollo, The Fiend and Randy Orton, Oscar versus Rhea, Roman versus Edge, Daniel Bryan, Riddle.
Oscar versus Rhea. They're gonna have to bring it tomorrow night.
Yeah. You got Riddle versus Sheamus, and then Nia Jax and Shayna versus Natty and Tamina. So
you know they got to stack the first night because the first night is just like the opening match. So you got to set a tone for what's coming up the next day.
That's a big tone, James.
Well, it is. They got a big step on that ladder to make up for. So yeah, no doubt.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Night one was only about one match. Okay, I mean, as much as like I said, as much as the Bad Bunny match was a pleasant surprise. Okay, as much as Cesaro and Seth delivered. Okay, this night one to me was always going to and of course the Slammiversary rematch. Okay, night one was always going to be about one match to me. And that was that main event.
And just like night two is all about the main event. But the pleasant surprise that everything, for the most part, was just good. I couldn't ask for anything more. If this was WrestleMania and that was my $60, that was my $9.99 for Lord Rest Your Soul, WWE Network, I got my money's worth. I was happy with that. Night two, I want to have the same feeling without the main event. Just everything else just needs to come. And I think match of the night is going to be, if I had to predict it, it's going to be Sami Zayn versus KO.
Or to keep the theme going,
removing
Kevin Steen versus El Generico from Ring of Honor.
You're gonna laugh at me, but if I have to put money on match of the night tomorrow night,
what you gonna say? The women's tag?
No, Big E and Apollo.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
They need to bring it. They need to bring it tomorrow.
I said the same thing.
Are they going to take the shackles off of Apollo and Big E? Are we going to get the New Day Big E, or are we going to get the 5 count Big E?
I think. Look, to be honest with you, I think we're going to get not a Big E that we've been seeing. We're definitely not going to get a New Day Big E because, to be quite honest with you, for the past 2 months, we really have not seen a New Day Big E. But we've been seeing a Big E that's developing. But we are finally seeing Uha Nation in WWE. Now we just gotta. Now I just wish for God to get rid of that Apollo Crews thing. So So out of the matches tomorrow night, that's the match I'm looking forward to the most. Okay, because they finally found a way to develop Apollo Crews, and all they're really doing is going back to what Apollo Crews was before he got to the E.
Yep.
Right, and I've said that in the past show, that the same exact thing. But I think we're going to
right there.
I think we're going to see a more vicious version of Biggie Langston back when he was with AJ Lee and Dolph Ziggler.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Because they built this up to make this personal. So I think it's going, and plus he's in his hometown. Even though I've already said he's going to lose the match, but he's going to lose the match. But being in Tampa, you know how they do the hometown boys in big matches. So
no, keep it real. You know how they do the hometown brothers and sisters in the big matches.
Right, exactly. But that's what I was saying.
Truth be told, before we tap out, I will say, out of everything that's going to happen tomorrow night, there's really one superseding cross-promotional main event that I'm looking forward to, and that's the Broken Skull session with Chris Jericho. Because I want to see if they're going to Jericho's already said Sammy Guevara's name on, we'll just call it quote unquote WWE programming. So I want to see if Jericho's going to take full advantage of that Peacock money and just say what he's going to say. And if he does that, that'll be the moment of the night right there, hand over fist. I don't care what happens with Edge Roman and Daniel Bryan. Him saying, well, you know what? Vince said he was just going to let me go, so I went. Thank you very much. I'll take that hand over fist, Y2J. And I hope Stone Cold isn't afraid to be to do what needs to be done for that dollar.
Right. I don't want him to be fluffy.
Right. Like, don't pull shots and all that. You know, if you're going to ask the question, you're going to have the conversation, you need to go there. Period.
Yeah, this will be a true test of what Broken Skull Sessions actually is.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It'll be a true test of what the E will allow him to do with Broken Skull Sessions on
it's
their
not
platform.
the E anymore. That's Peacock money.
Oh, you mean? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, but still, there's still
That's
an
like Fox. That check is separate.
There's still an influencer there. Okay. So it's so it might be the E with a little P in it, but still.
Yeah. Well, but if we get Jericho, that means I wouldn't be surprised if the next Broken Skull is CM Punk, because we know they can't cage his mouth. So that'll be another one right there. And then
look. I don't know if Tony is going to allow that one. However, that's only a part of my conspiracy theory for tonight.
All right. Well, we'll put a pin in that and let people mull on it, and we'll see if we can get some expounding on that tomorrow, because we're not going to keep the people any longer than an hour, because there's a lot of Bianca Belair celebrating to do. But just out of curiosity for James and Roz, before we hit the bricks, did you guys do your drinking game for the thigh slaps?
No, I didn't do it. I didn't really catch a lot of thigh slaps. I mean, I was actually listening for him. I figured the one that would actually happen would be during the Bad Bunny match,
right?
And I figured that the AJ Styles new AJ Styles almost a New Day match would have some, but I didn't really catch any.
Yeah,
tonight.
I just wanted to call back to that, because I was like, man, this is sober at night if they was really going to do that drinking game, because I didn't see anything, and we didn't really get the Claymore, so the default move that would have given us at least one drink didn't happen.
Right.
Can I share just one thing?
Oh,
just just on the capper of what's about to be the end of WrestleMania week. Okay. If y'all get a chance, one of the best matches I've seen this week, go out of your way to find Josh Barnett versus Jon Moxley at Bloodsport 6 from this past Thursday night. Okay, my favorite, and look, I'm sorry, for like the past 3 to 4 years, my favorite thing about WrestleMania week has been all of those shows that are in town that are not WWE shows.
All the indie shows, yeah. Those are usually some good shows, yeah.
Yes.
And I'm surprised, and I haven't heard anything about WrestleCon this year, so I don't know if that actually happened.
Well, look, most of the shows were from Game Changer. Okay, Game Changer did. They've been doing shows since Thursday. Today, a lot of today's shows are mainly ultra violent shows, especially Alex Cologne's Death Planet, which was some incredibly ultra violent stuff. There's an ultra violent show on right now. I haven't looked at the lineup yet. Also shouts out to Faye Jackson. She finally got her gray sweatpants battle royal off yesterday, which is supposed to be her. Yeah.
Who was the surprise wrestler that replaced her?
I didn't get a chance to watch it. I've been seeing clips, but it's mainly just because this is her last event.
Right. Yeah. She's going to retire after this. After that, she retired after that match.
Which is sad, because she is such She is such a talent that should, that really should have been on a major stage.
Yeah, definitely.
But she's done great things on the stage, stage that she's had.
Stranger things can happen. To be honest, I would expect her to somehow, in some shape, manner, or form, end up in AEW because they need some seasoned talent for the women to help build that division and the storylines, and then to become an on-air talent. You could still get some of it. She could still bump here or there. But her playing off of a Britt Baker, oh man, that would be some great promos to just let them go. Or
her and Big Swole, or even tag teaming. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I would imagine if Tony Khan doesn't do that, he's stupid. Just saying.
No, I agree.
Well, actually, she could be the mouthpiece that's needed for Jade Cargill.
Do you really think JD is a mouthpiece, though?
Hand over fist. She's just it's not natural to me.
I mean, it's ratchet, but
she's trying to be ratchet. She's overdoing the ratchetness.
As she's talking, it's just not coming through. And I look at her as their answer to Bianca. Bianca's just natural. She's not trying to be the EST. She's just delivering the EST. Right. Jade is an Instagram killing it, but as soon as she opens her mouth, it's like, ah. But if you give me Big Swole, totally polar opposites. I believe Swole is going to beat Jade Cargill hand over fist all day long just because of the promo. Right. And that's the thing. But with the right mouthpiece, it'll come in line. That could be fake. So hopefully, and Lord knows here we've tagged her several times and tried to impress upon her how much we appreciate James gushing over her. So
I even bought the shirt. I bought her shirt. Damn it!
I was getting there. See, I rest my case. Just gonna hang my hat on that one, ladies and gentlemen.
You got that Creep Squad. You got that Creep Squad shirt, right?
I got the Creep Squad shirt. Yes.
We're just gonna hang the hat there. James, he is what he is. The shirt says it all. So for the sideline junkies.
Whoa.
What?
We have to give our guest his due.
Fine. Go ahead. I was about to.
Yeah, well, I'm just making sure because you always were trying to rush us off.
I was about to thank everybody, but go ahead, James. You're going to close now.
Okay, so Mr. Lisa, would you please let everybody know how they can find you and your podcast, sir?
Oh, no doubt. Straight to tape. We do a live show Sundays, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook Live and on Twitch. You can find us on all your favorite podcasting platforms. You can also, follow us on our social media platforms, IG, Twitter, Twitch, and of course, Facebook. We also have a YouTube channel, S2T Media. That's usually where, we go with our extended and additional content. So check us out. We got a good show scheduled for this Sunday. We're unapologetic conversation. As a friend of mine put it, during the morning I watch Meet the Press and Face the Nation, and then when 2:00 rolls around, I catch Straight to Tape because I want to hear how my people say. That's us.
Amen.
And shout out to my man Rob the Actual, Mr. Tico the Gallo, Bishop Omega, and
Go ahead.
Here we go.
Hey Keisha.
Hey man, did you see her last week with the shimmy?
I appreciated that little shimmy y'all got for me, buddy. I tell you, I thank you for that. She had the shoulders out and everything. I was like, yes, Lord, there is a God somewhere.
But
so be careful. James will be wearing her t-shirt next.
Hey, if she put out one, I'll buy
it.
There's strings attached with that, so be careful. There's a Me Too right around the corner anytime he gets his shirt.
All right, Mr. Thompson, Mr. Raj, one of our most loyal listener, watcher. since you got anything that you want to close the show out with, sir?
Yeah, especially since you made it through that butt naked episode. We appreciate you sticking with us.
All I'm gonna tell y'all, I can't tell you how to live your life, but I'm fully vaccinated as of today.
Nice.
So that's all I got. I'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Oh, shit, if you fully vaccinated, then I guess all we got to say is diversify your bonds.
There you go.
And also, you can also catch us.
Oh my God, James!
Sideline Junkies, WrestleManiacs.
Statement. What is the statement, James?
Hey, we still got to put in the work, man. You still got to calm your monkey ass down. You said I was gonna close the show, so
was it Pocket Cast?
Close the show already, nigga. Damn.
Hey, just like Perry just gave out his, we got to give out ours. You know, we got bills to pay too.
Plugs in, bro.
Get your plugs.
Man, hurry up.
James
you can catch the Sideline Junkies WrestleManiacs on all of your major podcast outlets, including Spotify, our sponsor, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Play. What is it? Owltail.
Podtail,
Podbean. Yeah,
come on, man. You gotta know this stuff.
If you can't find us, just look up Sideline Junkies on Google, and you'll find all of our outlets on there. And so, since Mr. Don Rodriguez is in a hurry, I'll go ahead and say on behalf of Mr. Perry Elise III, the People's Choice, Don Rodriguez.
Put that man government name out there, James Berkeley.
His name is Perry Elise III.
Don, say it right. Don, say it right. It's J. Berkeley Gould.
Exactly.
Oh, I don't give him that much credit for the dot.
Respect
when he filled out his paperwork, he didn't have a dot. So I can't give him that.
I had plenty. The only dot I really cared about was the dot on my damn paycheck. How about that?
That's right.
And where it was placed.
Let's go.
That's right. I see the man.
So again,
that's how I saw James.
Again, for Mr. Perry Elise II, the People's Choice, Don Rodriguez, the Big Chief, Shorty Youngin, Mr. Raj Thompson, and yours truly, the Nubian Sumo. I say, konnichiwa, bitches.
Konnichiwa.